Our Rice correspondent Nisi Gabriel joins us now from Kano to give us more updates. Nisi, thank you so much for joining us on Newsday. What more can you tell us about the ruling upholding the election of Governor Abba Yusuf?
Right, thank you for having me live from Kano here. I can tell you that celebratory scenes rock the air here in Kano State, especially in the camp of the new People's Party, that's the NNPP, following the Apex Court's verdict returning Abba Yusuf as the governor of Kano State. I can also tell you that the anxiety and tension that shook the metropolis earlier has been doused. And right here we are standing at the residence of Engineer Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, who is the leader of the party. And if you can see right beside us, a lot of crowds, jubilant people. The euphoria in the air is exciting, it's overwhelming, I must say. The people of Kano State are excited and they're reacting to this Supreme Court verdicts in a positive manner. I'll bring in our Rice Kano State correspondent now, Ayo, who's right here with me, so that he can give us a sense of what he has seen so far here in Kano State. All right, Ayo, has it been like? Right behind us, we can see a lot of jubilant supporters of the New Nigerian People's Party. They are reacting to the Supreme Court's verdict in a positive way. What have you seen so far?
Well, it's really a jubilant situation here in Kano State, and as you can see, I know you've been wondering since you came in from Kaduna to see the crowd, and I can tell you that a lot of people were, to some extent, hoping it turns out this way, looking at the volatile situation that the state looks like. But everywhere we visited here in Kano, it has been one celebration or the other. Here at the residence of the national leader of the party, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, people are celebrating using, their motorbikes, their cars, not minding what may likely happen, even whatever may happen. They are just ready to do that. You go to the government house also, the celebration is also massive, and all over the street. I think the people of Kano really are happy for this particular victory.
Right, good. They're really happy, and it's evident. It's all over the air. Let's talk about the security, the watertight security atmosphere all around Kano State. Earlier this morning, prior to the Supreme Court verdicts, we did see a watertight security presence from the government house across key positions in the state. How has it been like? Because we also understand that protest has also been banned, but you can see for yourself, the atmosphere is so much joy in the atmosphere. So tell us about the security situation.
I think we must really commend the security apparatus in Kano State. They've really done well, right from the tribunal. A lot of people, all eyes have been on Kano, and you see our correspondent when he was giving us the update on the page that when he gets to Kano, even from the court, a lot of people were kind of feeling feverish. The tension was high and everything. And like I did said yesterday in one of our reports, that a lot of schools in Kano did not open. And I think some of them will be thinking, if we had known it would even be like this, then we should have just opened our school, because everywhere is peaceful. So the security personnel must really be commended. The State Commissioner of Police, Mohammed Gumed, really did well. Yesterday we were together with him. He told us the arrangement that they've made, that by 6 p.m. yesterday, their men will all be stationed in various states. And when we move around, true to his words, we saw these men all around. And just before us here is the house of the opposition candidate, that is Nasif Yusuf. His house is just right before us, and nobody is going there to harass anybody there, though the security people have parked their van in front of the house, but nobody is going there to harass anybody. The celebration is just where we are here, and people are going about it peacefully, as peace as they can do it.
Yeah, we also understand from, I've been in Kano, I've been around strategic places, and we can also notice that key political actors are not in town. The governor of the state, who has been returned by the Supreme Court, is not in town. The National Government of the APC is not in town. So key political actors are not in town. Do you think this is deliberate to kind of douse tension too?
Yes, I will agree with you, because even as of yesterday in Kano, every camp seems to have hope. And I must say that has really, calmed the nerves of people. Everywhere you go, some people tell you that yes, the NN people are coming out victoriously. When you go here, you say somebody tells you, for the APC candidate to have gone to Abuja, it means that it's very hopeful for the governor. The governor was in town, even up to yesterday in the afternoon, he was in town before he moved to Abuja. And for people say, yes, for the governor to have gone to Abuja, that means his confidence of victory. And I think with that, because I look at it, that if they have been around, I want to say that the mobilization will have been higher than what we are having now. So this mobilization we are having is not really from key political actors. These are just people, individuals who just felt, okay, the governor has been nice, this is good, let's celebrate him. And these are just the people. So I know that there is still more that is coming, maybe by tomorrow when the governor will be arriving, or probably a week's time when he will be arriving to the state. I can assure you that the state will be so filled with mammoth crowd celebrating his arrival into the state.
Yes, let me use the local phrase, the Hausa term that I heard some supporters say. They say hangama. Yes, it is over. Yes, and some other persons are saying the dust has settled. Yes. So in other words, it's time for proper governance. Exactly. And there are a lot of expectations from Governor Abba, Yusuf. So walk us through some of his policies, because of course you've been covering the activities of the governor here in Kano State. Walk us through some of his policies, key policies, and expectations of residents. I've spoken to some. They said he has done really well in education, and you're looking forward to see him do more in the areas of health and infrastructure. So walk us through just a few.
All right. Basically, when the governor came in, a lot of people had, one of the major issues that people had with him earlier has to do with the issue of demolition. Demolition properties, and though he has justified the reason for it, structures built on malls, built on waterways, and a whole lot of that. But when you want to score the governor on some aspect, when you talk about the issue of education, which even his budget, the 2024 budget, education takes the highest percentage which he has promised. And within the space of 6 months that he has been on ground, he has seen that some of the students have been sent to foreign for scholarship and a whole lot of things.
All right, back to you in the studio in Lagos. From what you can see here in Kano, live, we are right outside the residence of Engineer Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, and the atmosphere, the euphoria in the air is overwhelming. It's beautiful to behold, I must say. The people of Kano State are excited, they are jubilant, and they are happy that the verdict of the Supreme Court is in the favor of the New Nigerian People's Party. Back to you in Lagos.
Well, thank you so much, Nisi Gabriel in Kano, for that update. We'll now cross live to the Supreme Court in Abuja, where our Arise correspondent Godfrey Eshemoge joins us now to give us more update. Godfrey, thank you so much, for joining us on Newsday, and of course for the wonderful job you've been doing all morning. What more can you tell us about what's happening where you are?
Well, it's been an exciting day in the court for those who have been on the winning side with respect to the judgments. So far delivered 6 at my last count. We've had Lagos, Zamfara, Bauchi, Kano, Ebonyi, and Plateau State. Their judgments have been delivered. Of course, the ones that the judgments that have stood out so far are those of Kano and Plateau State. We saw the issue of the 165,616 votes deducted by the tribunal, the appeal court and the tribunal being overturned, with the court saying, with the Appeals Court saying the 2 lower courts acted in an overreaching manner, acted illegally, acted out of their jurisdiction to have done so. And then they restored the votes of Abba Yusuf, ensuring that he returns as the governor, validly elected governor of Kano State, upturning the victory of Nasiru Gawuna of the APC in the tribunal and the appeal court. Whereas also in the Plateau State case, similar outcome was what we witnessed here today. The case about non-structure, party of the PDP lacking party structure, was also set aside. The narrative about parties outside the political party lacking the local standing, lacking the legal right, or lacking the powers to interfere with the affairs, internal workings of another party, was stressed. The Supreme Court justices, and it said the APC acted more like a meddlesome interloper. That's the term that summed up the views of the Supreme Court with respect to the outcome of the Supreme Court, of the Appeal Court, with respect to the Plateau State judgment that deemed the validation of Caleb Muftwang of the People's Democratic Party, governor of Plateau State. So right now, he is now the governor of Plateau State, now returned to his seat that was vacated by reason of the that was voided, as it were, his election that was voided by the appeal court has now been restored, and he is now in a celebratory mode. So Plateau State and the People's Democratic Party in the state are now celebrating, if you like, upbeat and over the moon right now. So that's the update from the Supreme Court for now at the moment. Of course, let's not forget the Lagos State, the APC are celebrating, and same goes for Ebonyi State, where the governor, Francis Nwifuru, has also been affirmed. Over to you at the Lagos studio.
All right, Godfrey, just before you go, yes, it's an orgy of celebrations regarding those states affected by the contentious cases, as it were. But what has been the reaction of the opposition to this verdict so far?
Well, of course, you know the opposition, the effects on the part of the opposition, you can't feel it here in the courtroom, because this is a well-coordinated courtroom, and Supreme Court premises. There's no place for any form of reaction that will be over the top, as it were. So the reactions, you will feel them at the states where the interested parties are based. Those are the strongholds. But right here, the reactions have been rather subdued and very, very civil, if you like. But then you can't say how these parties or the losing side have reacted to the judgments today so delivered at the Supreme Court.
Very well said. Now that this court cases have been settled, of course, the issue now is that the governors can focus on actual governance. So what areas, do you think are priority, for them to focus on now at the moment?
Well, for Kano State, Kano is one very divided state. Abba Yusuf will have a big job on his hand uniting the Kano people that is torn between the Kwankwasiya movement and the Ganduje, if you like, part of Kano State. So Abba Yusuf will have the big job of reuniting the people of Kano State so the people can work together as a united force to move in the state, which is a commercial hub in the north, to the next level. As for Plateau State, it has witnessed one of the most devastating incidences of insecurity in recent time, the Bokos attacks and all that. So he has, the Plateau State Governor, Caleb Mutfwang, has his job well cut out. So he will have to start from the point of ensuring people regain confidence with respect to securing the lives and property of people of Plateau State. And then he'll move on from there to ensuring provision of infrastructure and other aspects of life that will make a life of people of Plateau State worth living.
Godfrey, now, still relating to the cases, were there inklings that the governors will be victorious, as we've seen so far, despite some of them losing out at the lower court initially?
Yes, there's been you could see this, you could sense the sign from the previous judgment, particularly that of Benway, where the Supreme Court justices hinted that matters on nomination of candidates by other parties isn't a subject for tribunals or appeal courts to contest. So we could sense from there that there was that inkling that the justices of the Supreme Court will tilt to the direction they have done today with respect to making certain section of the Constitution well spelled out and the Electoral Act well spelled out, to the fact that political parties, external political parties, external bodies, if you like, don't have a say or shouldn't have a say with respect to what happens in another political party. So because it amounts to being a meddlesome interloper to want to pry into the party primaries or the leadership structure of another party. So the justices of the Apex Court today hammered on this fact and said it amounts to illegality to want to even go there. And the Apex Court justices chided the appeal court for even going to the point of affirming the election of the victory of people who had opposed, who had contested the submissions of other parties with respect to nomination or submission of names of politicians with respect to nominations for elective positions.
Godfrey, some analysts have been questioning the impartiality of the judiciary, regarding some judgments that have emanated from the law courts over election matters. So how do you think these rulings will be received? Do you think the Supreme Court has maybe redeemed its image?
Yeah, in fact, the Supreme Court, the justice system, from my viewpoint, from my assessment of the atmosphere here, it will get a 5-star rating. If there's anything more than a 5-star rating, the justice system will, from today's judgment delivered, they will surely get a 5-star rating. Although there have been some downside with respect to the justice system in the past weeks and months and all that, but today's, it has redeemed its image. I'm sure many Nigerians will give glowing tribute to the Supreme Court and the justices and the panel of justices who have delivered the judgment so far with respect to the appeals heard today. Of course, there will be some people who will feel to the contrary, but then, of course, the larger view from the majority of Nigerians will be that the Supreme Court has scored a major high with respect to the judgment delivered today so far.
All right, Godfrey. Now, regarding the Electoral Act, and of course, you would like to have an insight on the endurance of the Act itself. Does it actually work when people have to go to the court to seek more clarification when there are issues that comes up regarding the validity of elections, as it were? So in this regard, has the Supreme Court more or less redeemed that confidence, as it were?
Yeah, you get the sense of there's still no full grasp of the Electoral Act, the workings of the Electoral Act. Unfortunately, from the part of the justice system itself, the Supreme Court justices were appalled by the judgments that came from the tribunal and the lower court, as the appeal court. And they wondered why such cases, such appeals got high up to this point, looking at the issues of law that they seek to uphold. So you get a sense of there's still need for more or greater grasp, greater knowledge, greater understanding of what the Electoral Act is with respect, putting that vis-a-vis the Constitution with respect to those seeking to be elected into various offices, from state government, state governor to president, and all that. So people still need to get a full grasp of what it takes to understand the workings of the Electoral Act vis-a-vis with the Constitution.
Well,
so you don't get a sense that should start from the justice system.
Well, Godfrey, now that it seems that the dust, has been settled over the conduct of the governorship elections, what lessons, can we learn moving forward, especially regarding the off-cycle elections and, other future elections?
Yes, so I guess this is an eye-opener for anyone, for instance, who want to challenge the validity of the nomination of a candidate. Of course, they know how to move their case quite early. Maybe perhaps go to the Federal High Court, which is supposed to be the court of jurisdiction, to seek to get redress in that respect, and not wait till when the matter is decided, when the elections are decided, they head to the tribunal, and then the appeal court, or probably the Supreme Court, to get justice. Because this will more like reduce the workload of frivolous cases that make their way up to the Supreme Court.
Shemoje reporting live there in Abuja on the Supreme Court verdicts of governors who have been victorious regarding their cases.